Well, hello, everybody. Wow, it's quiet in here when it's just me and the random bottle of Add It All. If you haven't noticed, I will be flying solo tonight because the super tall Al is missing in action. And there's my boy Graham. See, I should have put out the bat signal and got a hold of Graham right away, but didn't really think about it. So I haven't done a single do it by yourself show in quite a while. Lord knows there's a couple things that I've done by myself, a time or six. So nothing like a little bit of good extra practice. This is the Bachelor Pad Radio, Facebook Live. I'm going to go ahead and send out the activity that the show is on, even though it's just me. So y'all better be happy with just me. But anyone who knows me well knows that I can hold a conversation all by myself. Oh, and he calls me back way too late. Sorry, buddy, I'm in the middle of something. So yeah, and it was a pretty cool. What's up, Tom? It was a pretty cool weekend. I've got some cool stuff I'm gonna go over and share now with friends. Sorry, trying to talk and do this at the same time is kind of cumbersome. Share to a page. There we go. Post and one more, and we'll be ready to go. And I can show y'all that I can talk to myself. And we'll do 1, 2, inland vapor, post. All right, that should be good. All right, there, Facebook Live. Just chilling at work. You got Tom. Dude, miss you, buddy. I've got a few new MIAT characters that come into the shop on a regular basis, but not like last year's crew, like you and the motorcycle guy and a few other folks. But yeah, good dudes. We'll see. Maybe they can work on taking your place. Hi, Sarah. How are you? I'm all by myself. Me and a bottle of Add It All. And the reason why the Add It All is sitting across where Big Al should be is because number one, Al's not here. Number two, we just upped our overall we upped our overall distribution. So the Dallas-Fort Worth area will be carrying and distributing Add It All. They should receive it like Wednesday or Thursday. So if Bieber or any of our Texas folks or anyone that that has already tried the product, it will be on store shelves. So that's kind of a good thing. So I don't know, maybe at some point, if I feel like I'm getting a little kooky, I'll talk to the bottle of Add It All. Maybe I'll do a quick interview with it. But our Add It All is basically a energy shot, but just uses much smarter ingredients. Uses nootropics, basically things that make your neurons fire faster, communicate at a much higher rate, sends extra oxygen to your brain, a fully oxygenated brain, works a heck of a lot better. And there's a few other peer-reviewed, substances that are in there that are shown for memory retention, and everything else. So what we did is we made a much smarter energy product. Not like we're trying to be something a little bit different, but product tastes great, is wonderful, and it'll be in Dallas Fort Worth on store shelves probably by Friday. So if anyone's in or around the area, you're more than welcome to come in and either try a sample or that kind of deal. So all right, so this weekend was interesting. I was gonna bounce it off Al, my co-host, but I got kind of at the very end of our Friday show, I got a call from a friend who comes in from out of town. It is one of those things, I think, in friend relationships or relationships, you do have to make time, right? So I've got a friend, it's actually a couple, and they live in Cincinnati. So anytime they say they're coming to town, I kind of drop what I'm doing. I always make sure I go have a beer or two or any other, shenanigans that may happen through the night. Most of the time it turns into I drank way too much. What am I doing with my life? And that's kind of what happened on Friday night. I met up with the folks, hung out, had a good talk. ironically drank way more than I thought I was than I intended on, which kind of happens when I go out. That's why I don't go out and drink nearly as regular as I used to. Doesn't seem, if I went out 3 times a week, I would probably still overdo it. Or if I go out once a month or twice a month, I still overdo it. So I guess, what's up there, Dave? No kidding. Long time no see. Come see me, bro. I don't know where you live. You kind of know where I'm at every day, so I'm going to have to put that one on you, big guy. But yeah, come through, Dave. So I go out. I have a good few, way too many drinks. I get a friend of mine at the very end of the night. I'm getting ready to Uber, making sure my car is going to stay in the parking lot because obviously we're all adults. There's no reason to be out drinking after, be out driving after you've been drinking. So I'm getting that ready, and I get a weird request. Dude, come downtown with us. Come downtown. There's like 2 or 3 people all heading downtown. I'm not 100%, no, let's get it straight. No, I don't want to go. I drank way too much. I want to go home. I want to pet my dogs, and I want to, I want to lay down and, relax. So as I'm preparing to do this, somehow I get a weird request to go downtown. And I don't know if it's an after hours, if we're going to have, if we're going to grab something to eat and drink or whatever. I just know that it was, Nathan, you're in? All right, buddy, bring it, man. I get this whole, peer pressure, like after school special to go with them. So they're like, dude, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. So no problem. I'm going to go ahead and bounce downtown. Now, it's been a while since I've been downtown, or I've been downtown involved in any part of the after hours scene. So little do I know, and I guess maybe I was really, really drunk because I don't exactly remember exiting the club or that whole process. Next thing I know, I'm downtown, and it's reminding me of I used to manage a few bars and restaurants downtown. Everyone who works downtown, everyone who's in the bar and restaurant, the casino industry, they have an instant link into the after hours scene. Some of these places are like regular operating bars and restaurants during the day. And then at night, when I would close our bar at, 3:30, you would go and secret knock on the back door, go in. I mean, windows in the front, people can see you're in there, but you're allowed, because you're in the service industry, to go in and have drinks. And, we would drink until 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, this is kind of what I got involved in, kind of unbeknownst to me, but it was kind of a weird, swanky, really, really cool after-hours hookup. Now, mind you, I didn't want to be there. I was not interested in it whatsoever, but it was really, really kind of trippy. And I guess if I would have stayed home, I wouldn't have been out and actually, been a part of this. And I think the last time I had gone to an after hours in Detroit had to have been 2007 or 2008. So that was the last time all right, Tom, but that was the last time I was downtown and involved in any of the after hours shenanigans. So it was kind of neat. Now, I can do without like techno music and crazy lights and whatever. I can, I really didn't need to be out drinking or whatever, but it seemed like I don't understand what adults do with balloons. The whole balloons or nitrous or, whatever. I don't even know what the balloons, this to tell you how far out of touch or out of round I am with some of this stuff. Not understanding what, like, people are like, hey, you want a balloon or you want this or that? And I'm like, no, I kind of just want to chill. I'm waiting for whoever I'm with to decide to leave this place. I'm not even 100% certain how I got here. So that turned into to an interesting evening. I did notice that everybody was really happy and it seemed like a really soft bunch of people. Now, I remember when I went to after hours, you had a certain element of maybe not so nice people. People that you might want to pay attention to, like, hey man, that dude seems pretty shady, or, just a bunch of rough looking characters. Totally not the case. The new Detroit is like hipster heaven. So it doesn't matter if you go to a bar, if you go to an after hours, or where exactly you go to. It seems to be like hipster, or like hipster, like really weird, like a whole lot of flannels and a whole lot of really well manicured beards. And the good thing is they're all nice. Like, I didn't see one argument, or everybody could have been on some drug that makes you really, really happy. I think there's a name for that, that, puts you in a super good mood. I don't know about that either. All I know is it was really surreal. And I think because I very well may have been the only individual who didn't want to be there, that my look or the grimace on my face, because I think I threw up in my mouth once or twice. I did recall taking a swig or walking somewhere, and a little bit of and it wasn't like throw up. It was more just like alcohol trying to exit the body. So yeah, that was a thing. But everything went off without a hitch. The night was totally weird and random. I didn't really talk to. I talked to, a girl that was in the group that I went with, so kind of bizarre that I didn't know that much about her, but I know, a heck of a lot more about her now, and, kind of cool. Had a good conversation. That's about all I can say that, that transpired out of the evening. And rolling up to the house at 8:30 in the morning. 8:30 in the morning. Now, I'm an adult. I have no reason. I didn't want to. And I guess I have I have a really hard time saying no, I guess, which I really didn't think was a thing for me. And I guess it happens a little bit more when drinks are, in the equation. So that's kind of the deal with that. Detroit. This is when a co-host would be handy because, hey, you work downtown Detroit. What do you think about the weird changes and, some of the different types of people that are living in some of the new center area? And what did Graham say? Whippets, inhaling nitrous oxide to get a head high from the lack of oxygen. Pretty stupid because you overdo it, you're literally passing out. It's a new age party thing. There we go. Now, I've known of whippets. I never really did the math or tried to look into them. Thank you, Graham. You are my my writing co-host at this point. Yeah, that was first I mentioned it to somebody and they went, "Yeah, dude, they're, whippets or nitrous oxide." And you can get the exact same effect from going and holding your breath for a few minutes, right? You're depleting, you're voiding your bloodstream and your brain of oxygen, which is going to give you a bit of a head high and make you feel maybe a little more buzzed than you normally would. So I don't get it. I didn't really, I didn't partake. I know that everyone thought it was kind of weird and they're like, "Hey man, you might want to, well, just do this or pretend you're doing it." And I was like, look, the fact that I was accidentally peer pressured into coming to this place to begin with, that I'm here, and that number two, now I'm somehow trapped in this place because it's like Las Vegas and it's now 8:00 in the morning and I'm leaving. I'm like, what am I doing with my freedom? Like, I'm a horrible person. So yeah, and I heard a couple other people like really, I don't know, is there some kind of a weird hipster, like a hipster revolt? I had a few people today that really went hard on hipsters. And it wasn't like I told this story that, yeah, I went out and I was downtown and I saw like, every dude, like every third dude had a lumberjack shirt, a completely awesome manicured beard, and, and a really like, handlebar-y mustache. So I didn't see, I didn't even, bring that part up, but people just started going really, really, really hard on hipsters, just saying that, Detroit is really weird with the new center area. And, I don't know. It's kind of trippy. You don't see them that much out here in the suburbs, right? Like I know between Canton, Westland, whatever, I guess when you go to Plymouth and, Plymouth and Novi and Northville, you're going to run into a few more hipsters. But I think there's a huge draw of that, that hipster type and, that whole genre of dudes down to the Detroit way. So, Yeah, so that was my Friday. I will say that it's interesting to come in and attempt to come in and attempt to do sales and be in front of people on a regular basis when intoxicated. Now, mind you, I don't really drink that much. I drink a lot, but I just don't do it that frequently. In that process, I was kind of hoping like, oh man, please let it be a slow, mellow day. I really don't want to deal with I want to make sure I give every individual that comes through the best customer service I possibly can. And I ended up making it fun and jokey. So I guess I was a little better at it than I thought, or I kept pointing out the inability for me to do everything 100% the way that I wanted to. So yeah, it was a horrible day. I went in, I completely shut down. I didn't go out the second night to see my friends that came in from out of town. That was it. Work, go home, lock myself in the house. So now I'm going to be locking myself in the house even more because it is, it is ridiculous. All right, so a couple things in the news over the weekend. I always like to check the Bachelor Pad Radio Facebook page, and I look at a few, articles. I post them on there generally as like low rent show prep for the next show. A couple things, Donald Trump's presidency explained by 50 Cent on the what's up, Tony? On the Stephen Colbert show. They went pretty hard on he went pretty hard. Kind of weird to hear 50 Cent's take on a lot of those things. If you were somehow living under a rock and you didn't hear the Donald Trump shithole comment talking about, I guess when he was in Norway, talking about the why do so many people try and there's the big guy. So many people trying to get in this country from all these shithole parts of the world and shithole countries. Basically blatantly saying, or pointing the finger towards like Haiti and Africa, places like that. So now we've got a whole good talking point narrative of President Trump trying to explain to everyone that he is not a racist. This is the wackiest, zaniest, dealing of a presidency or any form of government I've ever seen. I just don't understand how 50% of our general population thought that this guy would be a good idea, that he wasn't racist, wasn't misogynist, wasn't whatever ist you want to throw right along with it. So yeah, it's pretty bad. And in No Ma'am talk, in the land of No Ma'am, on Friday I started pointing out that I was seeing a little bit of a kickback on daytime TV from TMZ, from a few other sources, where they were kind of saying that, wow, okay, this Me Too movement and a couple of the other movements, they've got a few other hashtags that are associated with it that, okay, dude, that's getting, what are you saying? Like he was sexually inappropriate, or it wasn't harassment and it wasn't this. And it just kind of went back and forth between a few different outlets, to where the one that I posted today is Liam Neeson, right? Everyone loves Liam Neeson, Taken, all those movies. He also looks like John, my manager at the Garden City store. Liam Neeson calls out the Me Too movement, and he calls it out as a bit of a witch hunt, right? So he goes into, and one of the first men who were actually, I don't want to say brave enough, or is just like, wait a minute, are you guys not noticing, like, this is becoming a bit of a witch hunt? They're looking at every person years ago, and it's not rape, or, they're calling, now it's becoming things sexual misconduct, right? So what is the misconduct? Is it, and there's no guideline. Nobody's talking what it is. Like, even the James Franco thing that we talked about for a few was, he was dating a girl, and while they were dating, they were out, and I guess maybe he was feeling some kind of way, or he was in a really, really good mood, and he decided while he was driving or in a parked car, he was in a vehicle, pulled out his business and was basically politicking for a blowy, right? Hey, can you do this? We should do this. How about we do this? And I'm fairly certain that they also said, like, he reached over and grabbed his girlfriend's, grabbed her head, which is not a good move, dudes, right? Never a good move. If I could explain, what's up, buddy? What up, James? It's not a good move, right? Ask, maybe point in that direction, be funny, do any number of things, then reaching up and grabbing an individual's head or back of head and kind of directing them to that area. So that is something that was, now I could see if that wasn't, if it wasn't your girlfriend. Now, I think your girlfriend should put you on like no sex time out for a little while. Like, don't ever do that again. Maybe you have a stern talking to, but 2 to 3 years later, you're going to come out and you're going to call it sexual misconduct with somebody that you were in a consensual relationship with. So these are a few of the things that obviously, Liam Neeson is pointing out that, man, if anyone ever had a grievance against anyone, that, wow, this is, oh, no, you did. It's James Franco. It's a good move. Well, yeah, I mean, dude, seriously, James Franco, I don't think anyone, I mean, most ladies, right? I mean, if you're into the I'm really, I'm good looking, funny, stoner, old, and the fact that he's like 40 years old is amazing, right? That he's got some age on him, but, I don't know. I still don't agree with the head down in the lap. I think, you can hint or beat around the bush, no pun intended, if it's not, manscaped. Sorry, that was a lot of talking. I needed to take a sip. So the next thing on the no ma'am and the Me Too movement was we had what's up, Ready Boy? Sorry, I had to quick if they don't take act in the moment, then avoid within circumstances, right? Good evening, sir. What up, Jalen? The next one happened to be Mark Wahlberg, right? Mark Wahlberg had there was a movie that he was cast, right? And there's another thing, and look, I believe that, wow, the Adderall bottle just went ahead and started dancing. I'm telling you, that stuff's magic. He had a situation where there were reshoots that had to happen, and I believe it was a movie that involved, or a movie or a series that involved Kevin Spacey. Well, obviously Kevin Spacey went out, they had to do some reshoots and whatever. Now, contractually, from what I understand and from what I read, contractually Mark Wahlberg said, hey, this is what I'm going to do the movie for, this is this, but no reshoots, right? Like, it's not going to happen, not in the contract. So he went ahead and voided that, so I'm not doing these. Everybody else either had a clause or had an open-ended agreement to do reshoots or retouches. Now, that's something you can do when you are a certain level actor, celebrity, right? They bend over backwards for, an Academy Award winner, an Oscar holder, something like this, right? And Mark Wahlberg, a big enough name that in his contract he said, I'm not doing any reshoots. Or if we do, or there's something comes up, then, we'll talk about it and we'll talk about an additional fee. So everybody on the cast, had gotten, and it was an absurd number, but because of the climate that we're living in currently, in this, the Me Too and the Time's Up and all, and all this stuff, they mentioned that, it came to light that Mark Wahlberg got paid $1.5 million to do all the reshoots, to do all the touch-up and all the things that they needed him to do, even though he wasn't under contract to do it. So they mentioned that the female co-star, or a couple females that were also on the film, were paid. I mean, it was a horrible low number, right? But if you're not a celebrity of that standard, it's just like, if somebody wants to put me in a movie, they're going to pay me $50 and I get to be in a movie. I'm kind of geeked and want to be in a movie. Let me get a couple roles under my belt. Cool. I'm going to start requesting a lot more money to do it, but you've got to start somewhere. Well, that came to light, and I guess there was a big hubbubaloo. I don't want to get too far into it. I guess I kind of did already. But that whole thing came to light, and then females making less money in Hollywood, and the whole deal. So this whole thing came, popped up out of nowhere. Wahlberg, who agrees with the Time's Up and the Me Too movement and whatever, didn't really want to get that involved. So what he did, and if you want to read into the stories, it's actually kind of neat. What up, Crute? Happy Eagle Day to you, bastard. So with this, he donated to one of the movements and one of the causes, basically saying, hey, look, I get it, maybe this needs to be brought to light. Some people with the, I guess men now kind of speaking out against it also. Yeah, next Monday, that's right. So with speaking out against it, we're like, wow, dude, why did he do that? I mean, that's nice that he did it, but if you did this and it wasn't in your contract and this is what was, contractually written after the point, that was your money. You did the work for it, but he took and he put it towards the movement and, kind of a good solid move. I don't think that money was going to, I don't think it's going to change anything. I don't know if I would have handled it the same, but if I'm a big draw and you're paying for my services, I don't know. Am I, either I'm worth it or I'm not worth it. I don't know. Wahlberg's a really, really good dude. Obviously, he's doing a lot of stuff in Michigan, but I don't know. I'm with Liam Neeson. Like enough is enough. Like if it's, Mark Wahlberg didn't do anything, right? It was the production company, the movie, anyone who was dealing with that stuff. So, yeah, I really don't know. But I am kind of glad that dudes are starting to speak up, because if there's a Time's Up and a Me Too movement, with every movement there's got to be, and I don't even want to call it a counter movement, but that's why we started all of our stuff with No Ma'am, basically talking about, look, dude, some of this stuff is getting outrageous. It is a bit witch hunty. So anytime somebody comes out and and talks about it or throws anything to the contrary, we'll obviously make note of it. Let me see. Okay, I don't know if any of y'all have been watching the news lately, but we've got this dude who's running for, God, what is he? Is he running for governor? He's got to be running for governor. It is a trip. This guy's name, and if you get a chance to look, this dude looks like, I saw a commercial, and the commercial was just randomly playing, and I thought it was a spoof. It looks like a Saturday Night Live, spoof ad, and it came on like maybe a week or two ago. And the dude's name is Sheree Fenekar or whatever. I don't know. What's this dude? He basically said, we're taking it up a notch and spreading our progressive message to an event even larger. It's time to disrupt establishment politics as usual and change the status quo in Lansing, right? So hashtag SHRI 2018. Now, look, I haven't, and I'm not going to lie, right? I think this may, and not like I'm a great catalyst or an awesome gauge of, of the political culture. I do like anyone who, is looking to, disrupt the establishment, to go ahead and make some changes, kind of streamline the process. It shouldn't be taking us forever to get things done and take a little bit more of a, progressive stance in Michigan. But the dude looks like The Rock in a wig. Like every time I've seen The Rock, like he was just on Saturday Night Live recently. And dude, when I looked at this guy and I looked at the video or looked at the TV commercial, dude, I peed a little bit. Like there was a little pee, coming out, because I went, there is no way. And I don't I can't even tell you what overall ethnicity, as if that matters. But the fact it looks like The Rock with a weird wig really, really tripped me out. Like, he may be the best guy on the planet and he may be awesome, but he looks kind of like an alien, right? It looks like an alien who's trying to dress up as a human. I do feel if I wasn't so hungover and, wasn't such a horrible person this weekend, I would have, gone ahead and, and, kind of dug into his background and found out, if anyone out there knows right now, like, Crute. You just threw out science. So if you've got any empirical data on this gentleman or the establishment or what he's doing, but you got to admit he's a silly looking bastard. And look, I'm a silly looking bastard, right? You know how you can get away and not be called any number of names? If you're a silly looking bastard, you can call other people silly looking bastards also. Now, the one thing that I don't like, and right off the rip, that we need to take it to even, a larger audience, and it's time to, disrupt politics as usual. He boasted his TV and spending he boosted it to $1 million for, planned Super Bowl ad spot. So how do you go ahead and mention that you're going to go ahead and change the climate and, disrupt some of the stuff that's going on in politics with, by spending $1 million on the Super Bowl? Dude, if I were him, I'd put all my information out there. I'd maybe do some radio because, dude, television ads, I swear to God, dude, if you look at the first one, I couldn't have been the only one who was a little bit creeped out. Like I was definitely freaked out when I saw it. So I'm gonna have to look a little bit deeper, into it's freaking me out. Oh, nice. So my buddy Jake said, what days and times do you do it? Currently being a temporary retired stay-at-home dad, you'll be the co-host. Right on. That's kind of what everyone says there, Jake. There, Jakey boy, until it comes time to hold a regular radio schedule. But dude, if you're down, man, I like you, dude. We used to talk a lot. Haven't seen you in a while, so got a lot to catch up on. Definitely let me know. Let me see. Graham, he's a business owner, chemical research, I think, ran several businesses, had questionable loans that he had to sell a business to pay off. I don't know much else about him. Tried to do some research earlier, but couldn't find a whole lot. Okay. God dang it, Graham. I like the man you're becoming, sir. I like the fact that you that you did a little looking into, man. That is awesome. Okay, we had another kooky thing that happened over the weekend. And mind you, I just got a message and was like, "Wow, you're incredible! I can't believe you can sit there and talk to an imaginary bottle of Adderall for what are we at? 36 minutes? Oh yeah, no, I got this. If I stretch out a little bit, I can go deep into an hour." But the Hawaii thing, right? The message that obviously I think we all know it around this area, that what is it? The first Tuesday of every month you get the tornado sirens, and first Tuesday or first Sunday. If anyone thought he was a doctor, racist. Do you just call me racist, Crute? You bastard. I'm not that. Look, I didn't say any, I just don't know what he is. He could be from Sri Lanka, whatever, but he looks like The Rock wearing a horrible wig. Dude, Google The Rock on Saturday Night Live, dude. I just watched something this week, and dude, and it's the first Saturday. Thank you, Jason. So when you walk out on the first Saturday, well, me being, a guy who drinks a little bit and, oh, balls, I'm hungover and whatever, walking outside or going out in the backyard with your dogs with kind of a hangover, and especially if the weather is a little jacky, it's a little kind of weird weather, and you hear tornado sirens or bomb sirens or whatever going off, it's a little unsettling, right? And I'm not like 15 years old, right? It's been happening for a long time, but it always kind of throws me for a loop. Well, in Hawaii, they got a text message, and all of their early warning detection stuff went off and saying this is not a drill. Like, this is not a dry run. There is a missile, launch or whatever, and people flipped out and, kind of got a little crazy and sideways, which I guess what it kind of does is pose the question, like, yes, that happened. There were some mix-ups. We can all talk about who did what, why, and how. Now, it's different if you're on an island. Like, I guess if the world was going to end, or the world was going to end as we know it, not to sound, like an REM song, but if it was really going to go down, Hawaii wouldn't be a bad place to watch it all. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you're sitting and you're having a Mai Tai and chilling, in flip-flops. And now us it's 17 degrees, we never made it to spring, and then kaboom, nuclear winter, or we just all, get wiped off the face of the earth. The only benefit would be we would be warm for a couple minutes, couple seconds. Yeah, probably not even that. But it would be better than the super cold, existence we're living in currently. But I guess anyone who still isn't, in the room, what if you could put your mind or put yourself in that, in that space, what would you do? Like if you knew you only had a couple, I don't know, like an hour, 30 minutes. I know when we were kids or much younger and, much, I know I'm going out on a limb saying less mature, but I know, like, oh, screw it. I would try and run over and have sex or do whatever. I wonder what kind of things, like, I want to know the weird, I don't know, kind of like some weird stories. Like everyone got a text message saying, hey, there's a, ballistic missile strike coming towards us and this is real. This is not a test. Like, I wonder, balls. Yep. Always knew it was going to end this way. And I don't know, you wander into a Baskin Robbins and everyone fled the building, right? Like the world's ending, right? Technically everyone's running away. You just walk in and get a bunch of scoops, pull down your pants, eat some ice cream in your boxers. I don't know what one would do, but I hope there's some good stories out of it. Although the Hawaiian people seem like a pretty chill people. It would be kind of weird with, there's 1.1 million people on the island of Hawaii. So yeah, I don't know. I wish I would have had some stories like that, or if any of y'all have a chime in, like, if you thought through the old doomsday scenario, like, oh, what would I do? I wonder what I would do, or, if this scenario happened, what you would get into. So I don't know. That was just a thought process. That would definitely be nice to think about. I really haven't. Oh yeah, no, dude. God, you're such a killjoy. I love you, Kroot. Imagine people killing themselves trying to end it before the suffering. Yeah, yep. Like, oh my God, this is happening, and jumping off a bridge or doing something in that. Yeah, that would suck. And is it just me? I mean, I'm not the only one who heard about this, right? It's kind of been all over the news. But did anyone hear of any kind of shenanigans that happened like that? Dude, seriously, this is why I don't drink on the weekend, right? I could have sat and scoured the old interweb and looked around and found some cool stories, or hopefully some something topical and joke worthy. But yeah, I don't know. That would kind of freak me out. Although I wouldn't have been surprised. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised by it. I don't know. I probably would have tried to have a little shenanigans on the go out. It would have helped if I was with a lady friend or, girlfriend or something. I think if you were going to go out, that would probably be the best way. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know. I hate to leave this early, because Lord knows I can talk. I just don't know if I have any more topical info that was going on this weekend. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, okay. The football. What am I thinking? So obviously, if anyone else has been in the room, you can tell by Jason Kroot's icon that he's a crazy Eagle fan. So everything. It was kind of funny. I got a call from my father today. He chimed in with the, "Hey man, did you watch that Minnesota game?" Yes, of course I did. Sat around and watched it. It was Eagles, huh? I was just kind of mad. I don't know. I kind of wanted the Rams to do something. Was kind of surprised that the Eagles got past that round, but no, good teams, good everything. Dude, that play, right? So I'm watching that game, and early in the game it looked like Minnesota had everything handled extremely, extremely well. Kind of a version of a Hail Mary. Everything got a little crazy with the Hail Mary. Now, look, I can only talk. This is why I couldn't transition over into 97.1 and CBS when they asked me to do a sports show, because this is kind of what I would talk about, right? Yeah, we've got football, and yeah, I get it. The next 4 teams are going to play, and then we're going to have well, no, didn't necessarily whiff. He was, if he would, now look, here's where, what is it, the Wonderlic test, right? Where they do the overall, the intelligence, of the football player, and, they go through some of this. So when you're running in a Hail Mary-ish scenario, everyone goes back. The gentleman had gotten there, he's kind of, scrambled, moved a little bit outside the pocket. As he came up and as he was ahead of the play, right? So what he did was he knew that, obviously there were 2 more people in the area. Okay, I don't want to get a pass interference call, right? Nobody wants to be that guy that gets a pass interference call. They grab the ball, and it was still it was a 3-point game or a 2-point game. I can't remember what the point was, but I recall it like trying to get into field goal range. I'm not sure if they needed the 6 points or not, but I'm fairly certain it was a field goal differential. So if he was there ahead of time, and if he would have hit him and would have done, because he literally tucked his shoulder and got out of the way, the gentleman caught it, the other person and the other defender collided, and then he just had a wide open space down the sideline. Now, Sarah, you'll like this. Afterwards, what? Look at Crute. Look at this guy. Just because you watch some Eagle games, now all of a sudden you're the overall authority on the foosballs. Okay, but here's my take on it, right? And everyone knows Jake is not an extremely godly man, right? I look at it, right? The dude runs, he does whatever. Begins to immediately, he posts up, does whatever, throws his helmet, stood up on the nice, interesting. So he stands up on the on the bleachers or on the whatever sideline stuff, stands there, arms crossed, all this and that, and everyone obviously. Dude, he was the king. Like, he was cooler. He was definitely cooler than Prince at that moment, right? Only for about a good 10, 15 minutes of fame, but at that point, that man is probably as beloved as Prince was, right? That was the most immaculate, reception type thing going on. So he does this and goes through this whole thing. And then my number one thing that is so cringeworthy and drives me insane and I can't take it, oh, so, hey, you just made the greatest catch and you did everything, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that wasn't me. I got to give all credit to God and God, right? Which brings back the old argument that, if you've got a bunch of Christians on both sides, right, and everybody does all the same things, that God either likes some of you and he hates some of you, right? Because either God is, if he made you win, or that wasn't me, God took me by the hand or whatever. And I don't know if you caught the God comments or if you're as sensitive to them as I am. That not even 15 seconds earlier you were in the most the proud, boastful, like, look at me, I'm the man, boom. Which, look, I would have just stayed with that, bro. You made a great catch. You were in the right place at the right time, just like the New York Giants. God works in mysterious ways. Oh, is that a Jim Jeffries? Yep. So, next time I'm going to go home and do X, Y, and Z to my girlfriend's mom, and when she breaks in, what are you doing? I'm being mysterious. Yeah, that's a good Jim Jeffries take. That's why you're my brother. Why you're my brother. Better than the Joe. Oh my God. Okay. Whoever is left in this god awful room, who knew that there was a Joe Dirt 2, and who in the F actually watched it? This guy. Okay? I was on some weird like Amazon Prime thing, and I'm delving into the deep recesses of what have I not watched on my Fire Stick, and I see Joe Dirt, and I'm going through as I'm scrolling through, and Joe Dirt 2. And I went, how could I live on this planet? And with all the, dick and fart joke humor and just stupid stuff that I watch or pay attention to, and not notice that there was a Joe Dirt 2. Now, I would advise you, prepare yourself mentally if you do try and watch the Joe Dirt 2, because it is ridiculous and stupid, just like Joe Dirt 1, except David Spade is now like 50, right? I don't know how much time has elapsed between Joe Dirt 1 and Joe Dirt 2, but holy whatever, it exists. And I watched it. I ended up falling asleep during it, right? Because it kind of freaked me out. But I'm talking Joe Dirt mullet, the used to be funny dude, whatever. He used to do Monday Night Football, Crute, if you're still here, my football guy. Dennis Miller. So Dennis Miller, I mean, it was horribly written. Like, it sounded as if somebody slapped this movie together over a couple beers and then kind of forgot about it and just like looked at what was written on, Dennis Miller, good man. Yeah, dude, has anyone seen it, or is it just me? It very well could just be me, because I ran this by a few people in passing and nobody knew it existed, or I heard it was a thing. Did they actually make it? Yeah, it's just as horrible as one could imagine. And the fact that the David Spade, just me, yep. The fact that David Spade is like 50 something with the Joe Dirt thing on, and even Brandy, who was pretty hot, right? Everyone liked the Brandy. Brandy was really hot, but Brandy's older, right? That kind of freaked me out. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, okay. So your sister's cat got the naming due to the Joe Dirt. Yeah. Well, I advise everyone that I don't know what your thing is, if you if you mess with the devil's lettuce, or you have a glass or two of wine, or Crute takes a shot of anger as he's sitting around the house at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Watch Joe Dirt 2. It will hurt your brain. You can't get that kind of time back in your life, right? It's just, yeah, what are you going to do? It's one day, but I think it was worth watching, ? Right? Like, I don't know. I'm not completely, I mean, the fact that I can bring it to, y'all's attention, and yeah, that was a real thing. So I think that might conclude my my what the hell I did randomly this weekend. Yeah, I think I'll check my notes and see if I wrote myself any notes, like, breadcrumbs through the forest. What in the Golden Globes? Man, no, that was from last time. Yep. So I didn't leave myself much more stuff to talk about. But yeah, all I know, if I was going to do a quick recap, Detroit After Hours. What the hell was I thinking? It's interesting to see that it's alive and well. At least I know where hipsters hide out late at night. They don't go to bed early. They seem to be like gremlins, and they like balloons. Joe Dirt 2, awesome movie. And I really need to think of hey, there's ballistic missiles coming directly towards us. What should I do in my last 5 minutes of existence? Or, I don't know, 30 minutes. I'll try and do some show prep tomorrow. I think I'm going to go home and be a good boy. Get some rest and relaxation, and yeah, I'm going to see if there's anything in that Hawaii side. But all right, if you guys aren't chiming in with hey, ex-ginger guy with a no ma'am shirt hanging behind you, talk about this, monkey, dance for me. Then that's gonna call it a wrap. The wrap for the day. So thank you. It's been a while since I've done a one-man show. I did do it. Tom Likas, I tried to do it back in the day when I was in Texas, when I had left the radio in Detroit, and I was like, wow, Tom Likas, I listened to him. How can this guy do 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour? God dang it, Crute, I love you. Crute, Jason, I'd basically go outside and watch and hope that the missile hit right next to me. Yeah, kind of like that new I don't know what car. This is bad. This is really bad advertising, because I can't remember what the car commercial is. I was actually more enamored by the giant missile or asteroid. I think there was an asteroid coming directly towards the deal, and they just kept filling up the back and grab this and grab that. Yeah, it was kind of an end of the world things flying at you scenario, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess yeah. if there was no way I thought I could get to higher ground, just on stupid stuff at Izaki commercial. Good man, Kroot. God dang it, you're on top of stuff. I gotta get a Skype line and just have you doing it from. You need to be the co-host from the house, because it seems like everything I ask a question for, you're like, yeah, that's Kia. Nah, dude, I could go outside and I don't know, run towards the missile, which not a bad plan. But do you know? Okay, so I generally don't get wrapped up in conspiracy theories or a lot of no doubt, yeah. But I don't get caught up in a lot of that. But I did watch a lot on, I really dig history. I like ancient history, looking into the Mayan calendar, right? And, looking at all these things and the fact that, their calendar and, their ability to keep time was in line with the atomic clock and, all these things. So I was really, really interested in the Mayans. So as the 2012 and everything, I'm not gonna lie, and I put together an escape, like if things went horribly wrong, if it was a humongous earthquake or a meteor or something along those lines, I went through like weird doomsday scenarios, and I was living in Texas at the time, and I had planned a escape route into New Mexico, through, and I can't remember exactly. If I looked at a map long enough, I would figure it out, because I went, okay, I need to get up high enough to where if, water levels or sea levels or whatever rise or any of this stuff happens. So I kind of did, I took 6 movies I've watched, smushed them together, and then looked for areas that, oh, no kidding. Yeah, nice. Okay, so I'm not the only one, right? It's random. You and I have been friends for 50 years or something, and that is kind of cool that you do some of the scenario shenanigans also. It was pretty interesting, and I was like, okay, I need a freshwater source. I need to get up high enough to where I can get into clean air, get into cleaner air. Even if there is, the art of warfare, right? Fight from, you've got to make sure you've got height on your side and, with the sun at your back and whatever. So it seemed like the mountain ranges, in New Mexico, not too high, not too small. If there's a crazy flood, if there was this, right, you could be up and you're getting better air quality, whatever. So I don't know. I went through quite a bit, and there was, some form of fresh water around there. So yeah, that is about as close to my doomsday prepping that I've ever done. And then, yeah, that was it. I think I told my sister where it was being. I was like, all right, dude, just try and get there. Don't know if you can. And if not, dude, it was cool knowing you, but the world just ended. So kind of a deal. Well, all right there, kiddos. On that note, I'm going to go home. I'm going to see anything that I talked about tonight. I'm going to go through and see if I can, find any credible information about it, between today and tomorrow. So I'll do that. Again, thank you anyone and everyone who happened to stop in and listen to me talk incessantly for approximately 53 minutes now. Hey, not bad for a guy with no co-host, just a bottle of Adderall staring back at me. And I think if I do this, it dances a little bit for me also. Didn't realize that, but I moved the camera down to an area to where it could be facing the bottle of Adderall. There you go. Dance for me. All right, well, that's it. Thank you, everyone who did chime in. And just so you know, Jason, my dad did call and, hey, man, those Eagles, how's Jason doing, man? How's your brother from another mother? And I was like, that's not exactly how it works out, Dad, with the brother from another mother. Well, actually, maybe, and just as long as, yeah. I don't know exactly how it worked, but, yeah, he asked a lot of questions. I told him that you were super dad. He's like, man, you need to get him out and, get him out for a beer or two. Show him how the other side lives. I was like, yeah, I've tried. I was like, he fought me off at everything, blah, blah, blah. So I told him we talk a lot and we do whatever, and, we do this at least. So, all right, buddy. Well, if that's the case, I'm sure, if I get my dad in town or whatever, if I get him near me, I'll have him, maybe I'll do a 3-way call, me, you, and Dad in a 3-way on a phone. Nothing creepy, buddy. All right, everyone, this is the Bachelor Pad Radio. Jake minus any co-host. Thank you, Crute. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Graham, for chiming in. And Mr. Jake, if you want to talk further about that possible co-hosting, let me know. But all right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't care if I got to pull somebody in off the street. I'll bring a homeless dude. We'll get it worked out. This is the Bachelor Pad Radio, signing out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom.